you. And please take your seats. Thank you. I know all of you share the same emotional reaction when you walk into this space. And we can't help but stop for a minute and truly catch our breath at the names that are inscribed on these too often take for granted, come with sacrifice, were won by men and women who were willing to lay down their lives, and so many of them did exactly that. I've had about a 6-week stretch here where I have seen the full cycle of that commitment and that sacrifice. I had the amazing privilege of speaking at the commencement of Virginia Military Institute, and I watched 160 men and women commission into our armed forces. I watched them dedicate themselves to protect freedoms, to put their self-interest behind the interests of America and their fellow citizens. And then shortly thereafter, I had again the great privilege of speaking at our D-Day ceremonies in Bedford, and to stand there amongst that memorial and again names written on intimidating walls with 8 World War II veterans with us. Again, I'm reminded that freedom is not free, and that the extraordinary is often thrust upon ordinary men and women. And then, of course, just 10 days ago, I had the most humbling opportunity to visit Normandy in France and see a sea of crosses and stars, reminding me that 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds had stepped into a conflict voluntarily to fight evil. And yes, Lieutenant Governor, to protect that which is behind us. And so what a privilege it is again to be here. To be here today to sign bills. But more than that, to honor and remember that men and women from Virginia and their families are willing to put their interests to the side to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. I stand here on behalf of the entire Commonwealth of Virginia, 8.7 million Virginians, 8.7 million Virginians that enjoy those freedoms and those liberties. And yes, Mr. Secretary, I did make a promise. I made a promise that if elected, I would work with an administration and with our General Assembly to make Virginia the very best place for our armed forces and their families, for active duty and for those that have retired and for those that continue to serve in our Virginia National Guard and our reserves, to live and to work and to raise their families and to live out their lives being remembered, honored, and most importantly, appreciated for the sacrifices that they have made. So we are here today not as Republicans, not as Democrats, but as Virginians. Virginians to say thank you. And I cannot express with a more heartfelt thank you to the members of our General Assembly who are here and those who couldn't make it, for the collaboration, for the selflessness, for the understanding that there are things that extend far beyond politics that are important to do. You see, these freedoms and these liberties that have been preserved by a few, by the brave, we exercise every day those inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are not for us to be taken for granted, but for us to again thank the men and women who preserved them. On Sunday evening, I found myself with 3 amazing Navy SEALs and their families. And they were living a part of life that they don't get to live all the time, which was to just experience the everyday. And yet they stood ready. They stood ready for a call. And when that call comes, they answer. Friends, thank you seems almost inadequate. But that's what we're going to do here today. One of these 18 bills that honor our commitment to making Virginia the best state for our service members is House Bill 2246. And we will sign that bill today, authorizing all special military license plates to be transferred to surviving spouses. It is a huge statement. While men and women serve, their families serve as well. The debt of our military service and the sacrifice is beyond any legislative power to repay. And again, we are so proud of the efforts that we are all making to be on a destination to make Virginia that which we know it should be. 18 bills were presented, voted on, and passed in our House and our Senate by elected officials who are passionate about serving our armed forces. And so many of you served yourselves. Thank you. Thank you for your continued service. Delegate Fowler, Delegate Durant, Wiley, Ballard, Murphy, Cardoza, Scott, Sewell, and Wyatt, Senators Morrissey, DeSteph, Bell, Vogel, Mason, and Ruff. Thank you for working together to get this legislation passed. We are moving the needle. And as Secretary Crenshaw say, this job is never done. And yet we have to constantly keep moving because we cannot fall short of our ultimate aspiration and the destination that we must achieve. That's to serve our military. Today we are discussing and celebrating bills that provide free admission to state parks for members of the National Guard. House Bill 1388. Thank you, Delegate Fowler and Senator Morrissey. Bills that honor our women veterans. House Bill 2080. Thank you, Delegate Murphy. And Senate Bill 1372. Thank you, Senator Vogel. And surviving spouses. In House Bill 2246, Delegate Cardoza, thank you. Delegate Scott, thank you. We're making it clear that Virginia value our service members. Additionally, in this package of legislation that we are signing today, we prioritize making Virginia more affordable for our service members by expanding educational opportunities for the children of foreign service employees and civilian employees of the armed forces in House Bill 1929. Thank you, Delegate Durant. As well as increasing the income tax subtraction for wages or salaries of our National Guard members and all of the officers ranked 06 and below. House Bill 2373. Thank you, Delegate Wyatt. And Senate Bill 1210, patroned by Senator Mason. On top of this, we are honoring our fallen heroes by eliminating both the spouse burial fee and the Guard and Reserve burial fee at all of our state-operated veteran cemeteries. House Bill 2362, thank you, Delegate Wiley, and Senate Bill 924, thank you, Senator DeSteph. And for our service members transitioning back into civilian life, the Department of Veteran Services Virginia Veteran and Family Support Program has committed to provide expanded access to mental health and rehabilitative services to those who need it. House Bill 1624, thank you, Delegate Ballard. And Senate Bill 1071, thank you, Senator Bell. When our spouses, mothers, fathers, friends, sons, and daughters come home, we want them to have all the resources that they need to thrive. That's why I'm proud of the legislative wins in this package that are ensure our veterans have access to treatment they need for PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. Again, thank you, Senator DeSteph, for Senate Bill 1082. Certify that attorneys who hold accreditation from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs inform all clients of the free services provided by the Department of Veteran Affairs for service members, veterans, and their families, House Bill 2077 from Delegate Murphy. And enter Virginia into the Audiology and Speech Language Pathology Interstate Compact to support spouses of relocating active duty military personnel, House Bill 2033. Thank you, Delegate Sewell. And finally, establish a work group that identifies what legislation is needed, and our Lieutenant Governor emphasized this, to make Virginia the best place for veterans. Full stop. Thank you, Delegate Reed, House Bill 1759. And thank you, Commissioner Gade, for leading this effort. And we look forward to all participating in that most important work. Virginia is home to roughly 700,000 veterans. To our communities, to our Commonwealth, and to our nation. Today is a testament to what we can achieve when we come together as Virginians. This is not the end, but the beginning as we continue to pursue a course that will make Virginia, yes, the best state in the nation for service members, for our veterans and their families to live and work and raise their families. I am so honored to be here with all of you as partners in this noble pursuit. I thank you again. And now, while I have already signed a few of these bills this morning because there were so many, and thank you. Gentlemen, just awesome. Good to see you. Thank you. Great to see you. Everybody squeeze in, come on! Here we go. In case there's any confusion about what bill I'm signing, there's a note that says I'm signing this bill. So it's my privilege to sign House Bill 2246. As I said, this bill was patroned by Delegate A.C. Cardoza and Delegate Philip Scott. In the Commonwealth, we will always honor the many sacrifices our military spouses make every single day. I agree. I think we should clap for that. So today we build on our work from the 2022 General Assembly session by signing this legislation, which will allow all Virginia-issued special military plates to be transferred to surviving spouses. And it is my privilege to sign House Bill 2246.